Indian soap operas. The thing that every teenager has bashed at least once in his life. The only thing that makes deaf and dumb people happy about the way they are. What's wrong with them? Well, a show starts off with, at times, a good idea. The show goes on and gains popularity. Then the show goes on and it goes on and 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 on until all the logic and sense is strangled out. And for some reason, I'm going to talk about them. Yay! Deaths, resurrection, plastic surgery, marriages, divorces, men with terrible past, over the top villain, unplausible love angles, time jumps, slow motion, pacing worse than DBZ, horrible dubs. What? I was just reading this book called How to Make a Successful 100-Episode Soap Opera. You'll never guess who wrote it. Let's just face it, okay? The first 100 episodes of a 1,000-episode soap opera is the actual story, and the last 900 is a scriptwriter joking off whole day and writing a script in the last 30 seconds before deadline. We all knew this already, right? Everything except the scriptwriter part, obviously, that was pretty confidential. So, in this video, instead of just talking how sucky the shows are, I have decided to go a little further than that. And since I hate myself, I asked the question, why? Just why? So lucky for you, I put myself through hell and researched on this to come up with an answer. And so, my brothers and sisters who were forced to watch crappy soap operas by a family or terrorist group that just wanted to break you, cause God knows that's totally possible, it's time to say a cheesy catchphrase. Oh wait, let me do that again. Okay, before giving an answer, I really think it's important to first give the context. You can click here to skip forward to the answer. So if you're still here, then let's just move on. I have divided the entire TV timeline into two parts, BEK and AEK. Want to guess why? Version kicked off the TV show saga. The shows back then, by today's standards, had bad acting, clunky editing, poor lighting, and let's just not talk about the sound. But the best and the most defining feature of the shows were that they were simple.
चाइनाटाउन में जो खून हो रहे हैं, सुना है आप उन्हें लेकर काफी परेशान हैं।
आप हमारे टेलीफोन की बातें सुन रहे थे?
बिल्कुल नहीं, मैं तो बाहर था।
And yet when done right,
फिर आपको कैसे मालूम हुआ कि हम चाइनाटाउन में होने वाली हत्याओं को लेकर परेशान हैं?
आपकी टेबल पर चाइनाटाउन में हुए खून की खबरों के अखबार जो पड़े हुए हैं सर।
effective. The shows were also filled with content. Instead of throwing cliffhangers in every episode, the story would get resolved in one. For example, a Vikram Betal story that would have been diluted to 3-4 episodes nowadays was wrapped up in just one episode. Other than that, there was a good ratio between quantity and quality. All in all, it was an honest business with a we give you good quality content and you pay for it motto. All was well. Until someone had a thought, wait, why don't we replace good story with catchy story? People will be compelled to return again and again. And so we moved on to the EK era. Her siege began with a totally normal family that went through a totally normal number of scandals and plastic surgeries. One of the most hated yet widely recognized families. The the Virani family, obviously. So, Ekta Kapoor started her siege with Kyo Ki Saas Bhi Kabhi Bahu Thi in 2000 and nothing was the same ever again. The show was a phenomenal success and went on to run for 8 years. Most of the people say that the show don't do shit after the first 2-3 years. My take on this, it was never good to begin with. Okay, before you grab your pitchforks and torches, just hear me out, okay? Know why Indian soap operas suck yet are so addictive? The answer is that it's just gossip, fictionalized gossip. The plot of the story is nothing but the scandals and just like normal events happening at the protagonist's house. Most soap operas are nothing more than that. Have you ever heard two aunties gossiping? Well, I have. It was a car and I had no earphones, okay? So Yeah, remember what the gossip was about? It could have been about someone marrying someone leaving their house, someone having a fight with someone, etc. Just doesn't all this sound like plots of soap operas? EK also gave us a purely evil character, a person you could hate without any regrets, a physical incarnation of all the bitchings.
Namaste, Auntie. ¿Cómo liga?
And along with that, we were also given an ideal handsome guy who was a perfect son, damad, husband, and most importantly, a fucking death-defying magician. An elderly person was the head of the family, kids, other damas, and bows were also added. Why? To make the show as relatable as possible, of course. Virani family was meant to be a family you knew, a family whose scandals you loved to hear and gossip. And all this planning worked beautifully. People went crazy. There were people taking fake medical leaves just to watch this show. Streets would be deserted at the airing time. And credit where it's due, the show was kinda something new. It did have its moments, I admit. The show kept on running and the makers kept on exaggerating the plot/gossips, and marriages and birthdays were replaced by deaths and reappearances. Did the people catch on to the formula? Of course not. Kyuki's success was followed by a series of clone shows that had the same formula deep inside its roots. The twists done in Kyuki were repeated in other shows and met with praises. This only meant that the makers could use the same tricks again and again under the guise of a new show. And that's exactly what happened. So the formula has changed a little over the years. Like nowadays, a main story is given, but that's just bullshit corrupt. In most of the cases, shows don't even get a proper ending. See, as soon as a show is considered dead, it is just taken off air without a proper goodbye. As the years went on, new tricks were experimented with and added to the now industry standard. Most of the shows that got high TRP followed this formula. Shows that had good content like Sarabai vs. Sarabai were and are still being muscled out.
Yeah, or revisit Sarabai versus Sarabai.
Yeah,
Is there-
definitely, because
Are we hoping for
आज
something?
no, honestly, बीच में ऐसा टाइम आया था कि हम लोगों को लगा था कि हम लोग वापस आएंगे,
अच्छा.
बट अब तो बिल्कुल ही आसार जो हैं वो छीन हो चुके हैं. They are ready with script.
Okay.
Somehow there are no more takers of, which is
Sarabai versus Sarabai,
which
really?
is very unfortunate. Some channel, some people, somewhere they said ki research is saying that it won't work. I don't know.
In other cases, rare good shows went on for so long that they too.
रवीना भाभी की डेथ हो गई. रवीना भाभी की डेथ हो गई. 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 भाभी की डेथ हो गई.
Turn into shit. Okay, I do realize that until now I've been only speaking on the story of a soap opera. I still haven't started on the presentation of the story. And well, believe it or not, the makers are so talented that they have fucked this too. A story that can be summarized in a fucking line is stretched into 4 or 5 weeks worth of content. And one may ask, why do they do this? And the answer, artistic creativity. It's just about the fucking money. And that takes us to the next chapter. Okay, first, make sure you're seated. Done. Okay, see, even though I like making fun of EK, I do kind of respect her. She saw potential in our idea and executed it pretty well. And since her siege began, she still has maintained relevancy in her field. I don't even blame her for the horrendous TV soap opera. She's made a fuck ton of money from them. So wait, who do I direct my hate towards? And more importantly, should you be blaming someone like the production houses for the shows then? Well, yes and no. The answer, like Neil Patrick Harris, is not straight even though you really thought it was. See, there are a lot of complications, but I can say this. There is someone you should hate. A person wearing a suit, hiding in the shadows, behind a logo, making shitty content. So basically me in just a suit. He's the kind of guy who comes up with shit like Choti Anandi or Colors Rishte. I do want to get into who the person is. I do want to tell you why the presentation sucks. And I also want to talk about the comedy shows and the reality shows. But, well, you simply just cannot talk about all the bullshit that comes from TV in a single video. However, I do intend to address the rest of the bullshit in the future. Damn. You can also watch an interview I conducted with an actual person who used to work in the TV industries by clicking here.
Also, will this guy ever come back to the ground? Or will he just go into space? Tune in to the next video to find out.
You criticized Soap Opera so much and still didn't even show your face. Well, my green screen still has some issues. I didn't want to show my face until I fixed that. Bakwas. Who do you even think you are? It was smart guy or something.